Coming up next.
I like peace. For
like
the
drama.
sake of peace.
No.
No.
Then she started unpacking that. So in the talking, then it went back to motherhood, is to say it's because everywhere you went, whoo, so we're not gonna do it. So everywhere I went, I needed my mom to tell me I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm this and all that. So it came from there because she never told me that.
I am your host, Mutondi Ramaru, also known as Mutondi R, and I'm your sister and friend in all things leadership, especially personal development. So joining me today is a wonderful, phenomenal woman, Phumzile, the girl next door. Those who know this. So Phumzile, thank you for joining me today.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to having this conversation because I have been following you for a while on the socials and I really enjoy the person that you are, your authenticity, everything that you do. You have no idea how much it impacts lives, but it has impacted my life, surely. And that's why we are sitting here today.
Wow.
Yes. So, Phumzile, let's get right into it. Can you just share with the audience and myself your journey from when you started knowing yourself as Phumzile,
as the girl next door,
up to now?
So, firstly, let me say thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. I am grateful to hear the other side because sometimes when you do what you do, you know the why, but the impact, you don't see it because not everybody comes back to say, wow, you see it as it happened. Like as you said, how we met, we are in the same space, professional space, and we see each other online because I've been following your journey and how we found each other too. You saying, I looked up to that. So okay, it is making waves, but anyway, so thank you.
Yes, hello.
It sounds like, I love it. Like when I said the girl next door. When you say leadership with Mutondi R, it feels great.
Thank you.
Sure, my journey. Let me start with my, background. So, born Soweto, girl from Soweto, Dlamini, Kasi Township girl.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself as a Kasi girl.
You don't talk like one as well.
Exactly. So early childhood, I think my mom, when things happen to you as a young woman. So one of those, not a stats. So I came when I was young. And so she had to ship me to boarding school. Because then my grades, started but she didn't know what was going on. So I grew up in KZN. So half my lifetime until matric. So from home to the other home to boarding school until I finished matric. So I'm not like your typical Kasi girl. I'm more a Zulu girl. I'm not even Zulu. More cultural Zulu girl because that's where I think I learned or found grounding of Phumzile. Not home, not from my parents in terms of values and all that. So I had to learn from me living from this home to the other until I found 3 different boarding schools. Babies in Mikasho then. Where and then there's a family that takes care of you. So I've learned Uksinda, I've learned Uglusa and all that from a typical girl from Soweto where you know nothing about culture. So that grounding. Then after that I came back, varsity time. So when I came back, I was already so grown. So grown. So that's why mom was direction you
have disconnected.
So disconnected. So but I'm just a typical girl. So I think in my journey of growth, when I normally introduce myself, I say I'm that girl who has so many names and so many surnames.
Okay. We need to unpack
that. Very funny. So I have 4 names. So my mom and dad named me Portia Bridget.
Okay.
My grandmother named me Ulindiwe Phumzile.
Okay.
Yeah. And Phumzile is not YD at all. So those 4 names. And I use them all. So in my journey, I think because I've used all my names, and I think I identify with how then I grew up, where I could pick up and become uPhumzile. I
Yeah.
know who is uPhumzile.
Okay.
Mangu Lindiwe, because my grandmother was Lindiwe because she had 2 sons. So when I came as a firstborn granddaughter, Dala Linde, umntana wentombazana, you know, yeah. So Zakulindiwe. So when Ngulindiwe is one of those, you've always been waited for.
Yes.
So there's that anticipation.
Yes.
And I guess in the family where every time, uPhumzile, it has a Lindiwe thing, which they always wait for.
uPhumzile.
Yeah, firstborn, granddaughter, like firstborn everywhere else. So even in family gatherings, then there's uPhumzile. So Yalindwe is more like, okay, I must come.
So don't you feel like that's pressure?
I know it's pressure, but it's within those names. uPhumzile, then it's because based on comfort. uPhumzile, you bring relief and comfort. So that's why part of my journey has been how you know yourself for who you are.
Yeah.
Portia and Bridget, okay, yes, white names. My dad was Paul. So
your dad was Paul.
Paul, yeah. So he passed on last year. So yeah, his name is Paul.
Right.
So thank you so much. So he thought I was gonna be a boy. So the name that he thought he would give me is Upolette, which is a small Paul, whatever that is.
Okay.
Ne? And then they're like, it's a girl. I'm like, okay, P, Portia.
Oh.
So I know precious.
Wow.
Yes, precious to the core. So with the whole Portia, you know, there was that essence of being precious.
Yeah.
If Bridget, Mom, asked, why Bridget? And I thought it was the time of Brooke and all that. You know,
yes.
She was like, no, you know that my mom has never like traveled, or she has traveled overseas, but church. Yeah. But not like well traveled to say she's seen the bridges and stuff. Yeah. But no, there's this bridge somewhere, not in Spain or London, like 2 big bridges, and there was a small one in between. Yeah. And that was a Bridget. So that's you bridging the gap between me and the dead. I'm like,
okay. Interesting.
Very interesting. So that's why with the 4 names, when I say this is me, because all those stories and how I was named, I've followed almost all of them.
Wow.
Because again, back to me being a firstborn, me being the first granddaughter in the family on both sides, you know, older. Always bridging the gap between people. Wow. Always bridging the gap. And I find myself
so
exactly. So in all the spaces I've been, wherever I go, I'm aware that role happens automatically. 1, wait for me in leadership to say, what would Phumzile say? What would Phumzile think? You know, so they not wait for me to say, I must come and arrive. The girl, no. Yeah. It's more like, we are waiting for wisdom. Yes. Guidance and all that. So that's where they
sometimes even comfort.
Because then with comfort, because it's not wisdom with ego or proud. No, it's because I've learned that being me comes with that comfort and that people have that when I'm in the space, I have something to give, hence the waiting. Hence being, so it's not that pressure, it's just the understanding of the role and the Bridget and always being just a precious person in terms of when you are a being with leadership in a personal space, you need to lead yourself first.
Amen.
It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter when you have subordinates or not. Or hierarchy. Doesn't matter. So if you are precious, if you are easy, you are comfortable, you make everybody else around you to be able to either follow, listen, guide, learn. It begins with you. It doesn't matter where. Wow. I'm still a good introduction, eh?
Yes, no. I think we're already in the main event.
I know, right? But it doesn't matter.
Yes.
4 surnames.
4 surnames. Okay. I need a notebook.
Gets interesting.
It gets very interesting.
So I was born Mnisi, which is my dad's surname. Like born, registered, ID, like certificate Mnisi. Yeah. But my dad, so my grandmother changed her surname because, you know, the whole divorce and all that. This one moving, marrying somebody else, and then you get heartful. Yeah. You change your surname. Yeah. So my grandmother changed the surname, you know, when registering my dad. Okay. Later on, you know, while I was still young, then they changed me to Udlamini, which is my dad's mom's surname.
Oh.
So then primary and all that Madlamini.
Yeah.
Yeah, and KZN, you know why? I'm from Soweto, and it's Edlamini.
Oh.
So there, you can tell where I'm going.
It's a lot. So many connections.
Yeah, like, I Phumzile Dlamini wakadlamini. Phumzile Dlamini wasedlamini. Also, shooting Guinea, Ubabako. I rode on there. Yeah. Kingship. There's nothing like that.
Wow.
So then Dlamini, then I got married to a Phatedi, and Phatedi is stepfather's surname.
Oh, okay.
So he has the biological surname. So if anything happens in life where one needs to change, so it means 4 names and 4?
You have 4 options.
4 names and 4 surnames.
What?
So you can see.
I am just blown away. But I've never heard a story like that about names and surnames.
Yeah. So I've used all the 4 names. I've used all the 3 surnames. So possibly next time I'll say, good, I used all 4.
Why? Why would you want to use the other one?
If they say, when you're late, when somebody says, I want to change the surname, then what? It means everybody should.
Yeah, I should.
But I'm Phumzile Phatedi. That's I go easily with Phumzile Phatedi now.
Sure. The way you are explaining yourself, I feel like you've taken so much time to really understand, you're self-aware.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, how did you get to that point? So I know you mentioned the incident that happened when, how old were you when?
I was 12, 13.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry for that. So you were 12, 13, and the time when you moved to KZN, what really, helped you to heal from that, and also, get on to really understand yourself for who you are and not for what happened to you?
Sure. To be honest, when they say, those concepts, life begins at 40, charity begins at home. Sometimes we don't think they matter until you experience that.
Yeah.
I think I started knowing and understanding Phumzile more when I turned 40.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah. I know you are now like, how old is?
Yeah.
How old is? As I unpack.
Okay.
I'm very easy. I don't even hide my age, but it's also part of that story. It's part of my awareness in terms of my life.
Yeah.
I think at that time when havoc happened, separation, divorce, depression, and all that, but I've been aware of the move because, I always go back to being a firstborn. I always wanted a relationship, so close relationship with my mom, because I am a fragile girl. Okay. I'm one of those girls. I feel like I was supposed to be that one, mama, your mom shows you off, princess, because I'm the first, and then I have 2 brothers. So it's one of those, but I never got that. So I think going to all these places, I always missed, what is the relationship with your parents? Because my relationship was everywhere I go, it's home. So when I moved early life, so I had to when I get here, it's home. There's a new mom, there's a new dad, there's a new family. I have a brother, I have a sister outside of my main biological home. Yeah. Then you move somewhere else. So you see all of those homes. So I got to learn all my changes as I go. I think that's where self-awareness started. Yeah. But when it hit when I hit rock bottom, where everything around me was not working. 1040, and I remember. So my life is always positive and balance of positive and negative. Because there will be this big challenge, but there will be this big positive within it. Yes. Around that time, so went to school, studied, came back. I did PR. So that's my field has been PR, and worked at legislature. I came back, and as I grew, I never felt comfortable or knew my profession to say I have a qualification. It mattered. It never mattered because I wanted my mom to be proud of me. So I did everything right until I fell pregnant when I was 20. Yeah. So with that gap, I moved the way I moved. Pick up life everywhere I went until boarding school, and then boom, I have a child. I come back. Now it's another life with a new baby. And then my mom is like, yo, you cannot be a wife here or anything else. You need to move and be a mother somewhere else. And then I move immediately in my early 20s. Sure. when I got my first PR-intern job, she was like, I found a place for you. You must go, spoons, pack, within no time. So again, I've always moved. So I've been aware of all those moves. So then from the 20s, that's what I'm saying, in my 20s to me 40. So you can imagine the 20 years of your life. Yeah. It's just me living. Then I hit. Sure. So when that happened, I think that's where the light bulb, who am I? Yeah. For the first time. So I went to school, studying now. For me, I did MEP. Yeah. I get Henley. When like, okay, I want to develop myself. Yeah. I want to do something for me, because that diploma then was like, it's for my mom. Even like graduation, I didn't even care. I was not even proud, because it didn't matter at the time I had a child. So there was like, so it was not nice. So it was not a proud moment. So when I went to Henley, and then there was a trip to China. Yeah. For MBA students. Okay. We get emails and all that. Guess who books herself? This girl. I'm like, hi, it's around April. My birthday. And I see it's written MBA. MBA, yeah. And I just finished MEP as an alumni. Okay. Booked, paid, and I left. Left everybody, my kids and all that. And at that time, for the first time, I was like, I'm doing me. Yeah. I didn't even care that it was a professional trip. Yeah. I just left for, I think it was 2-3 weeks at China, Beijing, all of that. And everybody in like the MBA, they were wondering, who's this girl? Because everyone's like, semester classes, vlogs, we never see her. We've never seen her. And I'm like, no. Last year, MEP. But they were wondering, how did you get here? Yeah. So that for me was like, I am that girl who is, I can move, I can go anywhere, anytime. So I started realizing self. Yes. Say, I'm me, I can make my own decisions. Yeah. Like me having a child. Yes, it was partly my decision, but getting married and all that, I didn't decide on a whole lot of things. Yes. From that, when my virginity was taken, that started there, my awareness to say, somebody decided my path. Yes. That's why I didn't get to live with my parents. Oh. And how I even got to a point where I was pregnant, because when that first guy who showed me love and care for like 3 years at high school, who was like kind, soft, didn't care about how I look. And at the time I was also transitioning, because I was in boarding school in Mutondi, so there was whole, at some point I was like, yay. Yeah, I was sporty girl, lesbian and all. I was sure, that's the route. That's the other one. Okay. Meet this guy. Then I understand, no, not all males are like this. Yeah. So the first moment after matric, you're giving yourself to somebody because you're thinking safety. Yes. Because they chose you. Yes. So that's where my awareness and understanding of self. So in the 20 years, because then I lived catching up, moving. Then after 40. Even your makeup, your stuff, everything I started after 40. I was delayed. Almost everything. Sure. Yeah. Yo. So I had to play catch up. Catch up. Sure. Actually not, but you were living, but you were not with self. Yes. Yeah. So between 40 and I am turning 50 next year. What? Yeah. Yeah, no. 50 manje. Aisafani. No. So that was when the realization of living. Yeah. 50. Yeah. And my firstborn is 28. My secondborn is 20. My lastborn is 13. So I live with. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I always say I'm to be God's favorite child. Like favorite and precious, and I always think, no, God with this one. Yeah. Like, no, okay, not this one. Yes. Not this one. It is like, as I said, with being the Portia precious, I've always thought I'm precious, and as much as it didn't feel like that, like gifted, favored, loved, and all that. So it does feel like I'm that special child of God. And my lastborn, her name is Mutondi R. I know it's a very long name. Okay. And I was intentional because. And they must write it in full on their books. We just go Tando-Lwake, because then there's Lubans is like, so you know where it comes from. Yeah. My understanding of his love and depth for me was like, that's how much I'm loved by God.
Wow.
Because he trusted me with almost everything that I was not even sure what I was doing when I was just living life until very late in life. Because I think I was 35 when just turning 35 when I had my last born. And for me, it was like, I'm not doing any other child. And that time, divorce was like, I am out. And then Tando came. Oh. And I'm like, if then this child is coming now, that's why I Tando like. So that's how I know God's love and how special and precious I am to him, you know.
And I feel like that's a very powerful point to know that, you know, throughout your life, from 20s up until 40s, when you were like self-aware, who was carrying you? Yeah. So it's a true testament of, you know, God's love. Even when we don't understand, He's there. Yeah.
And I think my understanding of Him being there with the naming of my kids as well, because my firstborn is Phumzile. We call him Fundo. Okay. So when I got pregnant, Eddie, and all that, to me, when I named him, was like, it is a good lesson. So it means from here on, every day, I need to learn all the good lessons of having him. Okay. So good lessons. So it's never a mistake. And then that's how also in leadership, that's how I live. Yes. Where learn. So a mistake, it's a mistake, but it's a good lesson. It's a good. So that's from my grounding with my son. Oh, wow. With everything that we will go through, for me, it's Fundo Isihle. Everything that comes is a good lesson. It's up to you. If you want to take negatives, I don't know how to take negatives. It's Fundo Isihle. Sure. So he has been now 28. So it's Fundo Isihle. So when I see him, everything, whether there's a time bomb, I do. Like I saw in one of when we're prepping and looking at the questions, like, what is the biggest thing that I regret and all that? Even when those things that happen, I'm like, okay, what is the good lesson from from it? Then Bali came, which is Umbali Yetu, which is the first girl. You know, like, okay, Yetu, because she's the first granddaughter from both sides. Oh, nice. So, yeah, because the sons everywhere, so granddaughter, so Umbali. And then her other name is Uzipezile, because at the time, Keria, when she came, she's the only one that was planned, by the way. Intentionally planned, conceived, even planned a trip to where she was conceived. Hey! Yes. Good deep line. Good deep. Even the bath, you know, with water bath and everything else. So, like, beautiful gifts. So she came at the time where everything was good. So I remember that time of my life with her. Like, I'm receiving, so buying house, cars, career. I was a PRO at the legislature, even though I was not in that space where I know what positions means. Spaces where it's government, you're a PRO, spokesperson and all that. To me, I was the dumbest PRO you can ever meet. Not necessarily with work, I would deliver, but I was not aware. Like your PR, your media and all that, like the girl over my head. I was doing the work. You were just doing the work. I would meet everybody, radio stations. Only now when my kids were like, even we were laughing the other day, she sent somebody a DM, not a DM actually, commenting on how they look. Yeah. And she sends me a screenshot that this lady responded. And I'm like, this is my friend. And she goes, like, how many people do you know? Yeah. So I've been in spaces that if I was ego, pride and all that, if I was too aware, possibly my life would have turned. Arrogance. Yeah, so going back to leadership, I think if you always stick to your being and positions and places and people that you meet, it never becomes a thing that you need to take and glorify, to say, I was here, here's the cup. I was here, here's the trophy. I met somebody. You stay you. Yes. So in that
regardless of the title.
Yes. Sure. In that. So coming to, my last born, Mutondi, I was like, okay, I'm deciding on all of this. She's here. Live and love. It doesn't matter what happened before. Yeah. God loves you. Yes. Trusts you. It doesn't matter what you do. Yeah. How you do it. Yeah. You are just loved. You're gonna do well. And then from Tando, so she was born a day before, a day apart. We're a day apart. So she's 9, I'm 11 April. Okay. Then for me, I looked at Mutondi as that child that God decided to say, you don't know you. That's going to the 40s. You don't know you. I'm going to bring you another being that will remind you, will take you back at who are you or who you've been as a child. Everything when my mom says, I saw myself in her. So that was the gift God given me to remind me of my own childhood, because that time between 20 to 30, I quite don't remember. I just lived. Yeah. So I started being selfish, spending time with her, learning her, treating her as the other me, but not modeling her. That's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not modeling her to be anything like me. Yeah. I don't tell my kids what to do, how to do, where they should be. I don't parent.
Okay.
In leadership, I don't parent. Parent is the name in the dictionary that's there. They call it because you have a child.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I do me.
So what do you teach them?
I think I live life that could teach them to be.
Okay.
Values is find the thing in you that says this is okay. Go back to your gut.
Yes.
If you say I'm gonna study this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Follow that.
Yeah.
You can ask me what it means. If you're talking economy, money, profession, what goes, we can talk about it. But I will never decide for you or guide you to that.
Wow.
Again, even in the house, including cleaning.
Yeah.
Including cleaning chores. I don't do chores. I would say let's live in a space that is good and clean, so that when it's like this, we are able to sit and talk and chat.
Yes.
I don't have to worry. Now I'm angry because the dishes are dirty.
Yeah.
Now I'm angry because I don't know how to do that, because the trigger with me, that's how my mother was. So I don't like chores. I don't talk about. We clean because we all live in the same space.
Yes. Okay.
It's not because who must do what and all that. Who must cook? No, we all need to eat.
Yes.
If there's food, there's no roaster. Cook.
Yes.
So that we all eat.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So I parent like that, where what is the most comfortable thing to have in an environment whereby you live together as one family that loves each other?
Yeah.
Limit anything that will cause issues and angers. Again, that's leading with the example of being. Then I share my stories with my kids. Like, guys, when I say dishes and all that, for me, like your Christmas and all that, my mom was one of those who, not my mom, I think most African parents then, Christmas is the time where clean, take out everything. The trauma of not enjoying the day, the holidays and all that, because she was busy, you are busy and all that. So for me, how then, if you call it parenting, I just knew that I wouldn't want that for my kids and for myself.
Wow.
For me, that's how I parent. I know what I don't like, or what makes me, or that triggers me. Like I didn't spend time with my mom, where first period or this, or I'm pregnant, and I was never able to share with her.
Yes.
So what I do, I tell my kids, this is what I never heard.
Yeah.
But for me, I want to be that person, not parent, that person that you live with every day, that you are able to talk to.
Wow.
You can sleep here, we can hug, kiss, talk about everything in it, because I'm not going to parent you, because I don't know. For me, parenting has a negative connotation. It must tell you how to live, when to decide.
I must punish you
if you do something wrong. Yeah. And funny with my kids, things did happen that needed what we so-called parenting, if we say so. Substance abuse, every other thing, mistakes, or things break in the house where, when things break in the house, actually I don't react.
You don't say break everything like our African mothers.
Like, let's leave like your glasses, cups alone.
Yeah.
Something big, like my son bumped my car, I don't know, so many times.
Ooh.
And my partner knows, he's like, yo, I've never shouted or go to a point where, my car, oh my God, in TV. So let alone the glasses even worse, I really don't care.
Sure.
To be honest, couch where I really don't care.
Was this even before you were 40 or?
I think that was just me. For me, the fact that I think I didn't have that close relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
So anything to keep beautiful peace, love, and everything between me and my kids.
Yeah.
It matters to have them than to have a class, 6 classes that I bought them 6 and I want them 6. I can have one as long as I have my child. Okay. As long as I have you.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's not a replacement, but I think for me, it's been that. I'd rather have them. So even when they do like biggest mistakes ever, for me, we'll talk about this, but let's talk about you first.
Yes.
How are you feeling? This has happened and all that. then we can talk about the thing. I can make like a quick example because she's here, like my daughter when she went through the whole depression, you know, high school and all that, and then experimenting with dacha and everything else. We, for the first time, because my son was like deep in drugs. Like deep rehab.
At what age?
He started early. Yeah. He started early around about 14, but we, I think, discovered it very late at like late 20s. So he's still like recovering like fully only the past year or two. So when my daughter fell into that, you know, when you don't think, because you can see how this, what is this doing to us?
Yes.
So you can't do the same mistake or fall into the same thing.
Exactly.
So that was, I think, my major parenting time where after conversations, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go take that thing from parents where, oh, okay, by the way, go to and everything.
Yeah.
And it was not, if we call it punishment, it was not back in leadership. It was not about her taking substance. That was not the issue at all.
Okay.
The issue was another incident that happened where we had visitors. So you can understand when I'm talking about parenting and leading self and leading others, where it comes from when I talk about things that happen when you put the dots together. Yeah. So a younger, which is my cousin, a younger sibling to her, come to Joburg and all that, and they go. She then asks to go buy, I think it was your gums that have, So for me, because she was older.
So gums that have
your, I think, dacha or something.
They're sold.
What do they call them? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a name.
I know there's what's this?
Like your
gummy bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's where a sweet is mixed with substance.
Yeah.
So for me, because she's older than her, so she went to go by assisting her, even though she was almost off the substance. After we've spoken about where I've never maybe beaten her or grounded her. I never grounded anybody.
Yeah.
Or all of those.
Yeah.
We've never done that.
Yeah.
So for me, this part of her making that decision and thinking it was okay for her to be sent by somebody younger than her to go by.
Yeah.
That's where the beating came from.
Okay.
Responsibility.
Mm.
You are older, you're supposed to be wiser. You know what it's doing to you. You've seen it. So you are transferring. So I'm not saying it was not about her taking stuff. You see the difference.
Yes.
So it was more like so that you remember to lead you first.
Yes.
To be responsible for you first. And everybody else around you was younger.
Sure.
So that you never repeat that. Ever in your life. So for the first time, that's where I went the anger, like, oh, I can be angry. Is there something?
No. It comes back to settings.
I think it was that because again, it's family. It could cause whole havoc, chaos, because now this one said this and all that.
Yes.
But for me, you are older and wiser.
Yes. You should do better.
You should do better.
Yeah.
And these people were visiting you.
Yeah.
At your home.
Sure.
And that's what we do at home.
Yeah.
If whoever comes into our space, we must all lead.
Yes.
We must all take part to be responsible for everything that's happening, including the people that are part of us.
Oh, wow.
So for me, that was when I went like, hell no. Yeah. But I've never been like, this is what you did or mistake. It was never, even with my son. Everything else, we never talk about you and the drugs and all that. It's more you as a person, whatever that led you or that's still leading you, or your issues of, let's talk about that. Why are you doing it? How can I help? Yeah. Not you doing this. Don't you see what it does? I don't even know how to go what it does to the world, because hey, we are all in the world, but like, really, I really don't know. But I know you. Yeah. What is that thing that you need so that I can help you? So in short, in leading self, in being aware of who I am, in being aware of the spaces and how touching lives or making difference in other people's life is knowing that you have a purpose. Why? What happened to me when I was young? Why I had to travel the world, so that I pick up all the lessons so that I can sit here and be able to say, when this happens to you, there could be something from where you come from that is telling you who you are or what you need to do with it.
Yeah.
You are now responsible for something else.
Yeah.
Because my young life is the one that I don't know.
Yeah.
The difference I make is so more in young people. That's why when it comes to age, I'm very relatable because that child in me that needed love, needed guidance, not scolding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Needed
at the time.
I am able to always give that in any spaces.
Sure.
Be it church, be it work, where we have interns, where I'm always when I say my age, I'm my age and my kids' age. So I always lead at where the person is.
Yeah.
Because if I can start leading as I am this, I am that, I have this, I'm a mother, you're not meeting any person that you meet at that level.
Exactly.
So you cannot advise somebody or guide somebody wearing a 50-year-old hat when you're talking to a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Because then they can lead themselves from that age.
Yeah.
Not trying to say, you see how much I've achieved. You know when my matric results. You know when I...
Yeah.
Because when they were not there.
Exactly.
They are not you.
And also they are your results, not theirs.
And you are you.
Yeah.
And whatever you do it well in your own capacity.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter who you are and your accolades when you're leading others.
Yeah.
So me, in my personal space, workspace, career space, and all that.
Yeah.
What I do is, who is me at the time? What do I have to offer at the time?
Yeah.
I offer that. Yeah. I don't have to know tomorrow. I don't have to know better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's why even now I'm studying and all that I get. Like, I even forgot what I
learned.
Yes, I'm studying.
What are you studying?
No, I'm doing my degree marketing. So yeah,
wow.
But anyway, being a psychopath.
Superpowers. What's going on?
So hence the podcast. Hence conversations with the Phumzile girl next door, because in moving, I've learned so much from each and every person that I met.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do over and above God, be me, if the people that touched my life were not there.
Yeah.
So then my responsibility back is to touch other lives, make a difference in other people's lives. Because can you imagine a young child living in some foreign house where there's no biological relation?
Yes.
People could have done a whole lot of West, and they didn't.
Oh, okay.
So they took me and made a difference in my life to help me journey from each and every place until I came back to lead self.
Oh, wow.
So part of my purpose is understanding my journey, my whole 360, and that it had to happen so that I'm able to live from that place of needing to be cared for and loved and being given a chance when anybody could give me a chance for anything.
Sure. And this is a lot. I don't even know where to start. So
sorry.
Sure. No, you are a powerhouse. Like, there's just so much, to a person that, what meets the eye. So I just want to understand, how has this impacted the relationship that you have with your mother?
So I am proud to say I'm a co-author.
Oh, hello!
We're going to come back again and talk about that.
Okay.
The book is called Healing the Mother Wound.
Okay. So clearly.
So
And you're a co-author with who? Sorry.
With mind retirement, the coaching and all that. When you start realizing that it's important to have a coach, be mentored, and all that. I joined mind retirement.
Okay.
We used to work together at Taika. I used to just admire her from far, and I knew she was a coach and all that, but I never decided until one day when she sent this post saying, who is your board of directors of your life?
Yeah.
And then it had like your titles, your fitness and all that. I said, and I took a step back.
Yeah.
Then I started taking the box. Oh, okay, I need to have a fitness.
Yes.
And there was a time where I was like waking up like 5 a.m. I was doing all the walking and all that until your COVID and after COVID happened. And financially, then started looking into my finances to say, okay, I need a financial advisor. I knew I had all those big institutions.
Yeah.
I had to go back. Why do I have so many and all that? Then understanding I can speak to them at my level fixing finances, fixing my life, investment, and understanding. So I went to each and every part of my life to have. So with that came the coaching.
Okay.
So in our coaching, you see, when I said I'm long-winded, I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah, we are coming. We are coming.
We are coming to that question.
Yes.
So when I met Puse, when we started talking about issues where people see me as like I'm outgoing and all that, and I would say, guys, I am so shy. I am not so confident, and I have like issues with low self-esteem, but people don't know.
Wow.
But when I unpack that, what do you mean? Like, with at work opinion, sometimes I don't always be the one who raise my hand. I raise my hand to do the stuff, but like opinion to say, this is what I think. No, I don't think. So I wouldn't, and she would ask me why. So that's where I knew that my confidence, I have to think about things first. And when I'm on my own, like, I should have said that. I knew that and all that. So even with arguments or agreements on stuff where we disagree, I just let people be in opinions. But I then knew when we're doing coaching, it comes from you are not confident with Phumzile and what Phumzile knows and what Phumzile do. It's not because you like peace. And then I mean, peace.
I like peace.
For
like the
drama.
sake of peace.
No. Then she started unpacking that. So in the talking, then it went back to motherhood. Is to say it's because everywhere you went, so we're not gonna do this. So everywhere I went, I needed my mom to tell me I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm this and all that. So it came from there because she never told me that. I never thought I'm good enough. So for her to take me there, I thought she then rejected me at the time. Somebody else must take care of this. Not for me. While I didn't know that when she moved me, in her head, it was not because of what happened to me. It was more because Soweto was Rafabuma, rape and everything else. To her, it's like safety. And I took it like you couldn't take care of me when I needed you the most. So my not self-esteem, confidence is because I didn't know that I'm good enough because she was never there to tell me. So if anybody told me, like, I still struggle when you go, like, oh, you're doing great. I'm like, it takes time to really
believe that.
So how then my mom and relationship, how we are building, how it has impacted my life and where I am now being part of the book, I had to go to that space to heal my mother wound. Then I realized that I have a mother wound and also not that I was like, the parenting I was sharing now? It's not like, it was like, hey, I must start the parenting different way. No, it's because I didn't want to not have my kids have a mother. Because I felt like I had a body of a mother, but I didn't have a mother. So I avoided everything that would make me shout, make me fight with them. So I avoided. So I parented. So
everything that your mother did, you did the opposite.
I turned it around. But I was not back to awareness. You see, when I'm talking about that girl, because I was not aware, but I did it so well because I knew I was underground aware that I don't want this. I want to relate with my daughter. My daughters, I want them to be my friends. So definitely I'm not going to be a parent because I don't know how to be parented because I was not parented. So how would I do this? I discarded it. So it took me to the mother issue. Then I started healing the motherhood. So the first was mentorship and then counseling. Started being comfortable with now board of directors, mental health and all that. So if I feel otherwise and all that, I dial that person. I know where to go and talk. Then started counseling with my mom. Talking about those things. So that's where the journey, it started way back, but we still couldn't understand. But until, I can say last year, after my dad passed on, things became worse in our relationship. So I was healing me. At first, go therapy myself without my mom. And I would share with my mom. And funny, when we did the first session with her last year, and then she was relating to the therapist, like, yeah, Phumzile will go to therapy and all that, and then she will come back and tell me, you mom, you did this. Like, I died. There was a point like, I sugar.
That sounds like an African man.
I saw how many times must I apologize for being like she was the only one who went to boarding school because my brothers they never went.
They never went.
Yeah, so she felt like I was blaming her for that.
Oh.
So, but cut this long story short, I made an intentional decision to say I'm gonna heal my mother wound, and in that I want my mom to also heal hers because everything that she was. Or she has been, it's because I had to go back to see how she grew up. Yeah. She also didn't have a proper mother relationship because she was also firstborn. Yeah. Girl older. Mm-hmm. She took her mother's and father's problems and made them hers because she was very strong. Ooh. So she started parenting her parents and parenting her siblings. Sure. So she became a parent, I think, at the age of like 10, 8 and 10 going upwards because there was alcohol and all that, like they were selling alcohol at home. Oh, so she was the one picking up, running the business at an early age. So same as my Jenny. She didn't have a childhood. She doesn't even remember that girl.
She doesn't know how to.
So when I came, did she know how to now parent me for me? Because she was always parenting adults. Yeah. Not parenting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
So hence the book came into being. That's how my healing the mother wound, impacting the relationship that I have, like changing the relationship that I have with my mom for the better, so that if she heals, then I heal as well. Guess what? My daughters or our kids will never carry that. So it means now I'm making a difference to even those grand. You see, I'm thinking ahead. When they come, they will not carry anything.
They won't have to deal with this because
light, like God, light, human beings.
Yo, so you've just broken a whole generational curse. Yo, that's beautiful. So you see the impact that you are having, not even like with your immediate family. And I can imagine that there's someone out there who went through something similar to what you went through. And it's really possible to, turn things around and now start doing things better.
And it must just be, for me, when, with your podcast, when you talk about leadership, I've seen other podcasts where you talk in different places. Yeah. And I think in what I looked, and hence we agreed on, we're going to go more on personal leadership.
Yes.
Personal, to say, back to my statement, the first leader that you need to lead is yourself. Because in everything that you do, when you lead yourself, you are able to make intentional decisions to lead better. It will never be worse.
Yes. It starts with self.
It starts with self. Yeah. So be intentional. If anything happened to you, make the right choice. And the choice that is more positive. Sometimes we don't. People, I know I'm generalizing. It's easy to, what they say, hurt people. I'll talk about those things.
We love saying
hurt people. Things. So it's more like, hurt people, you always affirming, I'm hurt. And that's why then it means you will hurt people.
Yeah.
Those are the small things when you lead yourself, things that you say, things that because then they become part of you. Yeah. Not just from you saying it. We had a quick discussion with my daughter when she was excited. I'm like, I'm meeting this girl, like, how I was telling her at the same event, and we follow each other, and we've never, but we're later friends from nowhere. And then when we met at Psycho, we were like that friendship moment. So it does happen. People to meet in the socials and they become besties. Yes, it has happened.
We are hey besties.
So when we're talking about it, I tell you, you're gonna go there and take up space. Yeah. And in leadership, again, before I moved there, every time in conversation, it happens now automatically, but I think if I were to advise somebody is to say, anything that you do, make it a teaching moment. Yeah. Make it, don't just be in life. Yes. So that's me at home. We could be cooking, we could be chopping onions. I can tell my kids, can you see this onion? You see when you cut it, it has so many layers. That's me. The conversation will go on the onion. We'll talk about layers and all that. So when she was saying, take up space, and I'm like, no, babe. Yeah. I'm not going to go take up space. Yeah. And everywhere I go, I never take up space. No, you must take up space. You must show up. I didn't know. let's go back to everything I say. Then I always go back.
Yeah.
Remember, when you say take,
yeah.
what does take mean? So you go there, everybody is there.
Yeah.
Then you start, they're breathing, she's breathing, you come, you take up space. Where would other people breathe?
Exactly.
You don't take.
Yeah.
You go in the space be in the space with everybody who's there.
Yes.
So I'll go there and we meet.
Wow, you are really challenging a very popular statement that people love saying.
Yeah, because when you take,
then
you find people saying, people don't like me because wherever I go, I take up space. Yes. Then where are we sitting? Where are we breathing?
Yes.
Because when you came to everything else, why? So, but we did, it's popular statements and all that, but we need to, because then our kids, because we say
they just take it
becomes
and run
a trend.
with it.
Yeah, it becomes a trend.
Yeah.
And then my daughter's like, so use it, but remember, when you get the reaction from others because you're taking up space, it means other people don't have space.
You're touching on a very powerful thing there, because there are people who interpret this as, when I get to a place, everybody must know that I've arrived, and they start stepping on, other people's toes just so that they can make that statement that I have arrived.
So you arrive, everybody must move.
Yes, everybody must move aside because I'm taking up space.
Yeah, so we must be careful. So
sure,
leading self is being careful of those things. Even small things, like I'll go to a really rough one.
Yeah.
Things, calling things the names that are not meant to be called.
Okay.
As an example, you know how as Black parents we don't call human body parts proper words.
Yes.
If it's eyes, we say it's eyes.
Yeah.
If it's what, it's what. Yeah. Then you go to coming back to a woman's space.
Yes.
Then you find the most precious body part of a woman that is meant to multiply, beautiful, and do this. Yeah. And then you go telling a young child as they grow up that thing is a cow. How they call it is, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
That private part.
Yes.
That's me all the time. I come back. Why do you say no, Coco, you're playing with me as like I'm like, why? Wow. Or the other funny names, the other jokey names. I'm like, come back. So with my younger daughter, teaching moment again. Yes. I'm saying, this is, what is this? Nose, eyes. Then we went everywhere else to say, these are the proper names in English. Yes. Yes, we might not have them in Zulu and all that, but so let me tell you, when they say it's a cow, do you know what happens to cows? One, there's always somebody with a stick behind a cow. There's always somebody, and a male figure behind a cow. Sure. Let's start there. Yes. That cow will be led to grazing, go cleaned and all that, but somebody's always going in. So the cow doesn't decide on its own life. That's one. Number two, this cow again is used to pay dowry and all that, whereby it's used to buy a woman. Mm-hmm. Sure. Then the brutal honesty part of it that makes me never ever call your body part with any other name than what is meant for when you look at biology. Yes. Because a cow, where it ends, it gets slaughtered. Yeah. You cannot take your beauty and your body part and think that it's something that can be slaughtered by anybody. And how many people will slaughter a cow? Anytime. And eaten. And how? And eaten. Sure. No. Sure. That's deep. So for me, in leading yourself, stay on top of the things you say, you think. Yes, people will say manifestation, guys, in positive ways. But also in those small places or those small terms that are negative, but we've made them positive. In being aware, in being always teaching this, it means I can never, not that I can never, I must be responsible to never drop a time to help or teach somebody to just think and do that. Sure. That kind of thing. Yes. So at home, from whatever age, I think she was 8 or 10. Now, even mom, this vagina, this is easy. And now it's easy to, because when they use the other names, it's like, because But when they call it what it is,
yeah.
it's normal. It's a nose.
Yes.
If it's a nose,
yeah,
then it makes it easy to have conversations with young kids, young women,
Yeah.
males. So for me, gender doesn't really matter. Every time it doesn't matter, gender.
Yes.
The only thing that I'm strong on, I can say, African person, African woman, but I don't have gender in terms of. It really doesn't matter. Roles for me, it doesn't matter. You're a human being. Do what's right.
Yes,
if you can clean, you have hands, whatever gender. Do what you need to do.
Yes.
That's okay. Even in like roles in places and all that, your gender must not be. But as an African person, then what I intentionally do is I'll tell you, I buy black.
Okay.
Intentionally, I will buy black. If I have the choice between all the races and all that, I'll choose black.
Okay. Why such a strong